I should have never taken that job. But when you're broke, desperate, and trying to scrape by, you don't exactly get to be picky. I was behind on rent, my car was barely holding together, and my student loans were suffocating me. So when I saw a listing for a night security job at the old St. Mary's Hospital, I didn't hesitate. The ad mentioned it was temporary, just 2 weeks, while the property owners finalized demolition permits. The pay was nearly double what a typical job offered. The only requirement? Stay overnight, monitor the building, and report any intruders. I knew the place. Everybody in town did. St. Mary's had been closed since 2005 after a fire gutted the West Wing. Rumors said more than just fire shut it down. Patients had gone missing. Some say a nurse was murdered there. Others whispered about unethical experiments in the psychiatric ward. Classic urban legends. I told myself it was nonsense, just stories to scare kids. But from the moment I stepped inside on my first shift, something felt wrong. The smell hit me first. Mold, wet concrete, rusted metal, and something else. Something sour. The walls were peeling. Graffiti covered almost every surface, symbols, warnings, and phrases like "don't listen to them," and it's still here. The company gave me a basic setup, an old radio, a flashlight, and a small office where I could monitor a few grainy security cameras that barely covered half the building. Most cameras were dead. The first few hours were uneventful. Just silence, broken by the occasional drip of water or creak of settling metal. But around 2:17 a.m., the radio crackled. At first, I thought it was interference. Then I heard it, a voice. "Help, help me." It was faint, broken, like someone whispering through static. I pressed the talk button. "Hello, who is this?" No reply. I scanned the cameras. Nothing. Just empty halls. I told myself it was the radio picking up stray signals. It happens, doesn't it? But then came the footsteps. Slow, heavy, coming from the east wing. The burned section. I grabbed my flashlight, telling myself someone had broken in. Maybe a squatter. Maybe some dumb teens. As I approached the double doors to the east wing, I noticed something. The air was colder, much colder. I could see my breath. The doors were chained shut. Had been for years, according to the property manager. Yet the sound was unmistakable, footsteps dragging, followed by a soft knock. Knock, knock, knock. I leaned in. Anyone there? Silence. Then a whisper, right behind me. "Don't open it." I spun around. No one. I should have left right then. Quit. Called it a night. But something compelled me to check the back halls. Maybe I didn't want to seem like a coward. Maybe curiosity got the better of me. As I turned the corner toward the ICU, the hallway lights flickered, even though there hadn't been power here for years. That's when I saw him. A man standing at the end of the hallway. Pale. Thin. Wearing a hospital gown. His head tilted slightly, and his mouth hung open, jaw unnaturally loose. I froze. "Sir?" I called out. "You're trespassing. Are you okay?" No response. I stepped forward. "I'm calling the police if you don't." His head snapped upright with a sound like cracking bone. Then in a jerky, unnatural motion, he started walking backward, facing me the whole time. I backed away, heart slamming in my chest. The figure disappeared into one of the old patient rooms. I should have left. I should have ran. But stupidly, I stepped toward that room. The door was half open. I pushed it slowly. Empty. Except the walls were covered in scratches. Dozens, maybe hundreds, all clustered around one corner of the room. And in the center was a word carved deep. "Listen." My radio exploded with static. "He's coming. a voice whispered. "He's coming." Then something louder. A scream, high-pitched, echoing through the halls. Not through the radio, from the building itself. I bolted, sprinting back toward the security office. But the hall was longer, much longer than it should have been. No matter how far I ran, the door stayed the same distance away. And then the lights went out. Pitch black. I slammed into a wall I swear hadn't been there before. Disoriented, gasping, I flicked my flashlight on. There were footprints on the dusty floor. Bare feet, leading toward me. Then breathing. Heavy, raspy, right behind me. I whipped around, nothing. But when I turned the flashlight toward the wall, I saw it. A handprint, pressed into the drywall. Except it was from the inside. Pushing out. Fingers long, stretched unnaturally, as if the wall itself was too thin to hold whatever was behind it. Then knocking. Knock. 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 From every wall. Every direction. And then the voices started again. Overlapping. Whispering. Chanting. "Don't look. It sees you. Run. Run." The flashlight flickered. When it came back on, there was a shadow at the end of the hall. Something crawling, limbs bending the wrong way, head twisted upside down. I ran. God, I ran. Didn't care where, just away. Through the halls, past the ICU, past the surgery ward, until I reached the stairwell. Except the stairs were gone. Just a hole, leading down into darkness. Behind me, that same raspy breathing grew louder. Closer. I had a choice, stay or jump. I jumped. Fell longer than I should have. Landed hard, rolled, pain shooting through my ankle. But I was alive. I was in the basement. A single light flickered in the corner. Beneath it, rows of beds. Old hospital beds. Restraints still attached. And on the far wall, a mural. Photos. Dozens of them. Faces. All patients, I think. Smiling. But their eyes had been scratched out. In the center, a mirror. Cracked. Covered in grime. As I limped toward it, something became clear. The reflections didn't match. I saw myself, but behind me in the reflection were others. Shapes. Figures. Watching. And one standing right behind me. I spun. Nothing. But the whisper came again. "Look closer." I stared into the mirror, and that's when I saw it. A message, written in the fog forming on the glass. "You're next." That was enough. I bolted, found an old service door, kicked it until it gave way, climbed out into the cold night air, gasping, shaking. I quit. Never went back. I called the property owners the next day and told them I wasn't doing another shift. They didn't argue. Said I wasn't the first. Turns out, 4 other guards had quit before me. One of them disappeared completely. The building was demolished 2 months later. But sometimes late at night, I still hear it. Knock. 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 And when I check the walls of my apartment, sometimes, I swear, I can hear breathing.